Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and I specifically want to talk about Thor: Love and Thunder, and one story option that they chose to make in that film, which I think really asked the question: what is responsible storytelling, right? Um, and Yeah, so let's get into this. And we as dungeon masters are this this duty is put upon us to find responsible storytelling. All right, let's get into this. So I saw Thor: Love and Thunder for a second time because I think it's a deep film. I think it resonates at the frequency of Dungeons and Dragons combat, interaction, exploration, and it's a meaningful. It's a very important tale, and I think as dungeon masters, we spend our lives developing an arc, right, of consuming great art and creating great art, and this is our duty, right? Once you take up the crown of dungeon master, this is your duty, right? Like, people are giving you their time, and you have a responsibility to make sure it's filled with something meaningful, right? And that they have they have a robust ROI, a robust return on investment. What is the investment? Their time. The most valuable currency in the world, clearly, to anybody but fools, right? All right, so here we go. All right. Anybody who thinks money's more valuable than time is a fool, in my opinion. All right, so I saw Thor: Love and Thunder, and they made a narrative choice in this film which shocked me, right? There, at the end of the film, by the way, spoilers for Thor: Love and Thunder in this content. At the end of this film, they made the choice for Thor to create an army of children, right? He literally tells the children, go find something, pick it up, right? And I'm going to charge it with my thunder energy, and you will use it as weapons to fight back the shadows. Thor arms and equips for battle 30 children. That's astounding. Like that, you're like, like in America, we're still dealing with like the echoes of Uvalde, right? Like now, when this was made, that hadn't happened, but it happened certainly many times before. So everybody knew that that this movie could be coming out in the middle of the situation just like that, right? But Disney said, we want to tell the story. We want to tell the story of children being armed to fight. Right? I'm like, wow, that's wow, okay, that's a decision, right? And so the question is this responsible storytelling? And I have to say, yes. And the reality is, I think Disney employs brilliant people, right? And I think everybody had a sense of what's happening right now. The horrific hexscape that America is in because of Vladimir Putin, and the fact that the idea that children would need to defend themselves against real horrors of the world is not abstract. It is quite literal, right? Like, the children of Ukraine are getting no mercy from Vladimir Putin, not a bit of it, right? Like, there's no mercy for anyone in Ukraine, right? So the idea that children should be anything but protected before Vladimir Putin seemed laughable. It seemed outrageous. But when Vladimir Putin shows up, you're like, we have hardcore, lawful evil villains in our midst. Like, there is a human with the heart of Vecna among us, right? And there is no mercy even for children, right? And so I think Disney thought about this. They thought about the world we lived in. And, they didn't know what was going to happen in February 2022, but they had really good clues, right? And the reason why is what's happening right now is an echo of, what's February 2022, Vladimir Putin rolling in to take the land of Ukraine is nothing more but an echo. Vladimir Putin going, oh, hey, there's a dem-dove president who doesn't know how to use the American army and will not use the American army. I could take whatever land I want, right? So what's happening in Ukraine is simply an echo of exactly what he did when there was a dem-dove President Obama, and he's like, oh, I'm just going to take Crimea. I'll lie right to your face and take all the land. Just admit it 6 months later. You aren't going to do anything, because I know not only do you not know how to use the U.S. military, you don't have any willingness to. Actually, I think President Obama knew how. He simply lacked the willingness, right? And and he knew that President Biden would be. President Biden's an echo of everything Obama did, just at a less quality frequency, right? So, so when we look at Thor: Love and Thunder, we have to look at what we're going to tell in our Dungeons and Dragons games. I do think it was responsible and realistic to tell the story of a child army. Right? That is horrifying. It's amazing that we've landed in a world where a family movie, Disney is like, oh yeah, children army, sure, yeah, but it's not unwarranted. Like, Vladimir Putin shows that our world is a scrape above us hitting, of us hitting with each other with clubs, and that we have not moved forward, right? And that courage is nowhere to be found in our world, and that means that everyone will have to defend themselves, which is terrible, right? Now, I will say this: should we be putting these kind of stories into our Dungeons and Dragons? No, actually, I don't think we do. I'm shocked to say this, but there will be no children armies in my Dungeons and Dragons games. It is simply too dark. And I just want to tell you, I have great sympathy for each and every one of you. We have landed in a world where a family Disney movie has themes that are too dark for me to choose to put into Dungeons and Dragons. I'm as shocked as you are. Do you think I'm right? Do you think that we should avoid themes this dark in our Dungeons and Dragons games? I think, in our Dungeons and Dragons sessions, I think we should. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.